Can you believe it's been 30 years since Karen Wheeler sung that beautiful song with Soul to Soul? Much kudos to Jazzy B. I had the great pleasure of meeting the man himself and working in the very studio where they recorded that hit. This song, Keep On Moving, really speaks to me as it does, I'm sure, to many of you. Have you ever had that great calling to do something awesome for the kingdom, but you've just been uncertain as to how it's all meant to come together and work out? Well, this message, recorded in 2019 from my teaching series called The Journey of Abraham, focuses on this very thing. The father of us all, who was called out of Ur of the Chaldees to do something amazing, but he just wasn't sure what and where he was going. Well, I hope this message inspires you. Check out the detail, and I'll see you on the other side. Shalom. Haran is now 600 miles. So they've traveled over 2 months from Ur in the Chaldees, passing through the land of Samaria. There's your Euphrates River. But notice, they're running parallel. Sometimes in your journey, you're walking with people, and you're walking parallel to your destiny, but you've not crossed over into your destiny. For years, I walked parallel with friends and with other believers, but then there would come a day when I would have to separate and cross over. 600 miles. England is 600 miles. So imagine traveling with your whole family the whole length of England. That's an experience, that's an arduous journey. That's a difficult journey. They trekked 600 miles and they stopped at Haran. Maybe they stopped there because it just felt good to stay in the place where our brother, my son, was named Haran. We don't know the reasons why they stopped, but it seemed like as good a place as any. Maybe Father's giving us a sign, so they stopped there for a while. Remember, they're supposed to be going here, but they stopped here. Sometimes after a very long journey, 600 miles, guys. You get tired after a while. How long are we going to keep on this journey? When is this ever going to end? Maybe we can just stop here. Maybe this is where we're meant to be. Let's just call it quits. We've left Ur. Let's just make a new life for us. You're supposed to be going here. Have you ever left, but you stopped halfway? We have this saying in the Caribbean, stop the coming and come on. Meaning you've come a certain ways, but for some reason you're delaying. Remember what happened with Lot. He's out, he's traveling, he goes to Sodom, the angels say you need to leave, but he begins to tarry. And the Bible says he slept there all night. He was supposed to get up and get going. But some of us are like that. Father's called you, but you're still just dilly-dallying. You're tiring. You've made up an excuse. I'm good here. I'm comfortable here. Haran is mediocrity. Haran is compromise. Haran is, you know where you've got to be going, but you don't really want to go through the whole thing. It's just so hard. Haran can be a church where, you know what, they've not got it all right, but I can tarry here. This is the praise and worship's awesome. I can be good. I'm good here. And you know, they got some men, good-looking men. They got some good-looking sisters here. I can stay here. Father called you to get to here, but for some reason you've just become comfortable. You've made an excuse, and you've settled. Father does not want you to settle for anything. Father wants you to have everything His purpose for you to have. Compromise should not be in our thinking. So they've settled. This is now our home. Let's just make the best of what we got here. They got some good land. We can raise some pastures here. We can make a good living for ourselves here. What does Father do? Genesis chapter 11, verse 27. Terah died. Because sometimes there's people in your life that their very way of thinking is holding you back from your purpose. You aren't meant to stop there. That was not the goal. But because of Terah, hung up on maybe Haran, who he lost, but now we're in this place, I will just tarry here. Terah lived 205 years and he died in Haran. He died in Haran. I want to get kind of deep, and I need you to kind of come with me. Sometimes we get hung up on things for emotional reasons. There was an emotional connection between the place of Haran and his son Haran. There had to be. It spoke to him. Maybe he comforted himself in the grief, but that grief held him captive. Sometimes grief can hold you captive. Sometimes the memory of what was, you're still stuck there. You're not moving forward. You've got to let it go. It's dead. It's died. It's time to move on. Sometimes dreams, hopes, aspirations, and goals that never got fulfilled hold you captive. And you're still there trying to make this thing come to pass. But it's not meant to be. You're meant to go on to Canaan land. Sometimes it can be a religious institution, a church, a ministry, a position, a post. I know so many brethren who they know the call is from, the call of Yahuwah is on their life to call them to come from where they are, to move into a Hebraic calling, but because of position and title, they've stayed where they are. They're stuck in Haran. They won't leave and trust Yahuwah and come into the fullness of what He's purposed them. Haran can be a very tricky place. I know what your Haran can be. I have no idea what your life is, but Haran can be very real in your life right now, where you've compromised. You've become complacent and thought, I'm okay here. I like it here. But did Father call you to that though? Or have you settled in the land? Well, then Father may have to cause some things to die in order to loose you from this false dream. There's a film, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, I think it is. And there's a scene where the kids are on a journey and they're trying to find some unique artifacts. But they stop off in Las Vegas. And while they're in Las Vegas, they start to eat this delicacy, I think the lotus flower delicacy. But they don't realize that when you eat the lotus flower delicacy, it numbs the mind. And you begin to see things that aren't real. And before long, they have spent weeks in Vegas when they thought they were just there minutes. And they are against the clock on this adventure. They've got to keep moving. But when they find out we've been here for weeks, caught up in foolishness, when we haven't got time to spare, that's what happens when the enemy can numb the mind and deceive you with a false reality that you should have moved on from this place a long time ago. But you're still in Haran. What are you doing in Haran? It's time to go. We got things to do. We got places to be. There's a plan to be fulfilled, but you're still in Haran. Haran can be a marriage. Haran can be a relationship. Haran can be a place of work. What are you still doing there? Move on with your career. Haran can be a car. Let's look at the word Haran. Haran means in Hebrew mountaineer, mountaineerer. So not just mountain region, but mountaineer. You're meant to climb mountains, to burn or ignite with anger. But its Arabic meaning also has relevance as well. A place dried up or parched by the sun. I love that one. In other words, there's nothing there in Haran for you. You think that's the place where you can settle. You think this is the place where you're meant to work. You think this is meant to be your ministry. But there's nothing there for you. You're just wasting time. It's time to go. Terah means station. Let's take apart the man's name. Terah means station. Think of a bus station. The place or position at which a thing or a person stands or is supposed to stand. A place along a route or a line at which a bus, train, etc. stops for fuel or to pick up or to let off passengers or goods. They were on a journey, but Terah literally lived up to his name. He stopped at a station When buses get to a station, do they stay there? They're meant to just stop, pick up, drop off, and then move to the next station, and then the next. They're not meant to rest until they get to the end of the route. They call the terminus. But Terah stayed stationary at a station. That's what his name meant. His name means station. He lived up to his name. Interesting, isn't it? He was meant to move on. And notice, he's the head over Abraham. This is a man of purpose and destiny, but the person over him didn't really catch the revelation of the purpose and destiny of his life. So therefore, Abraham was stunted because of his father. Have you ever been stunted because of your father? Have you ever been stunted in your growth because of your mother? Have you ever been held back in your life in certain things because of the person over you? This is how it's important for us as parents, as leaders, to literally speak the destiny into people, to push back the boundaries, to go further than we have ever gone before, because what we do can oftentimes determine the generation beneath us. Blessing, destiny, purpose, calling. We need to literally push back the boundaries.
Well, I hope after hearing that message, you don't allow your past, your life experiences to this point, your culture, your environment, your friends, failures, whatever, hold you back from attaining your full purpose. Push on, keep on moving, and you will get there. I'll see you next time. Take care and shalom.